What's going on, everybody? This is Joe, and I am here for the final, for now but probably for good, Edge of Eternities pre-release kit opening. I have done many more of these, 4 to be exact, prior to this, but specifically last week I did one, and if you missed it, I encourage you to click or tap up in the top right hand corner there, and you can go check that video out with some pretty interesting cards that got opened. So if you missed it, like I said, please feel free to go check that out. These boxes are not easy to open. The last one opened like that as well, where it rips a little bit. You have to be like very exact about how you pull it off. A little tighter this time around, which is odd. Find magic among the stars. I talked about it last week, but I really like that phrase. It's really cool. Here is the art on the inside of the box. We've also got charge counters, +1/+1 counters, stun counters, and then, some combination thereof on the back sides as well. We've got the Planeswalker symbols for the set. You can pop these out. I saw some people at pre-release using these as your warp zone. Otherwise, there's not really anything for you to do that with. Sometimes they give you a card that's a token and it says warp zone or whatever on it, but it's basically because they just get exiled like anything else does. It's just that you can cast them from exile. So anyway, here is the rest of that art. If you can see it in there, pretty interesting. I'll leave that off to the side. And then we have the box right here with looking like that on both sides. Let's see what's inside of it. Notably, first we have the black D20. I did have one of each before we even started these post pre-release videos because I was able to go to pre-releases and get, trade around for them as well. Again, this thing was stuck to the inside of the box. I noted that last week as well. Excuse me. And it was something that I saw during pre-release as well, that this a little insert that they put in to tell you how to build a pre-release deck kind of gets stuck in the box. That was very strange that that's how it was packaged in so many of them. But anyway, it tells you how to build a pre-release deck. I've said it many times before, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but if this is your first video, I do want to at least point it out. As the person that has opened more pre-release kits than anybody else here on YouTube, I'd like to think that I have somewhat of a relevant opinion on this, but of course, if you agree or disagree, you're always more than welcome to let me know in the comments down below. But I'd like to say that if you are going to a pre-release, it is your first time, or if you're going to bring a friend to the pre-release for the first time, I encourage folks to read this and follow it, not necessarily to the letter or anything, but I also encourage people to talk to the folks around you. I also know for a fact when I've gone to pre-releases in the past, if I've lost round 1, this was a while ago now, but if I've lost round 1 against somebody, especially if they kicked my butt, a lot of times I'll say, well, here's my deck, but here's the rest of my pool. What stands out to you? You seem like a very good player. And if you have a good enough community, which we do at our sponsor store, Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York, usually those folks are able to give you some advice and help you out if that's something that they want to do. I will note, I've known players that have gone to the Pro Tour who literally during pre-release will still ask me questions. And if you come watch us on stream Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern playing some MTG Arena, you'll know that I am not a pro player by any means, but it's just, it's a new set. And so it's a somewhat of a more even playing field. So it's a good event for new players to join. So that's my personal opinion, of course. And as always, any thoughts that folks have, would love to hear them in the comments down below about anything that we talk about today. We also have the planets here, as well as the Super Void, but we have Uthros. This gas giant boasts floating cities and supply stations in its upper atmosphere and curious secrets at its core. That's the blue planet that cares about artifacts. Evendo is over here on the left, an icy world with lush jungles thawing beneath its surface, spurred on by Eumidian terraforming, and the Eumidians are the bug people that Amy loves so much. Adagia is here. Adagia is the white planet, a world defined by its powerful winds, thin atmosphere, and massive ringed solar arrays. We then have, if you look at the planet first, it's over here, but it's Susur Secundi, and it says, irradiated and slowly being pulled into the super void but a holy site for the monoists dwelling underground. We also have Cavarone, that looks like it's having a bad day, I won't lie. Once a resource-rich paradise, now largely devastated by mining, and prospects are grim for what remains. And then last but not least, in the Sothera system is Sothera. Once a star, now a collapsing supervoid at the heart of the system, and ringed by a light-giving photon collar. The reason we're all here, basically, because this thing is making life a little bit difficult for the denizens of the Edge of Eternities area here. We also have the divider that they give you with the, like, you know, art for the set for the divider itself. I don't love this one. I guess it's fine, like it's flavorful and stuff, but we've had some pretty damn good ones recently, and this one's just okay. But it can help you divide your deck and the rest of your, you know, your deck that you make and the rest of your like sideboard and stuff. If you want, here are the 6 packs. We'll leave those on the side. And then the last thing we have to look at is our promo foil rare or mythic, and it is a Singularity Rupture, which is really nice looking in foil. That's a really cool foil. It is a board wipe. It is in blue and black. I mean, you know, I would play it for sure. Any number of target players each mill half their library rounded down. There are some mill cards in the set. I do like mill, but I do not believe there will be enough mill to make that a viable strategy, but you still put the board wipe in. It's also still a board wipe. So, you know, milling half their deck is fun, but it's not like half their starting deck or anything where you can get them for 20 cards. It's just half of whatever's left. So, and the fact that it's going to take at least 6 mana to cast this, but it's also blue and double black, it could be a little bit more difficult. So, but at least the foiling's cool. And again, if I'm anywhere near those colors, I mean, it gets in. It's a board wipe. It's great. We start with a Sammy's Curiosity in pack 1, a Slag Drill Scrapper, a Decode Transmissions, very nice, a Cryogen Relic, God, I love this card so much, a Squire's Lightblade, this card I do not love as much, Depressurize is very, very good, yes please, a Drill Too Deep, I'm not a big fan of this one. By the way, if you're unfamiliar with how we do things in these videos, I would love to know from you. Keep a running tally if you want, but down in the comments below, you can let me know what type of a deck you would play if you opened this kit at pre-release. I'll be asking that question and obviously giving my opinion as well. I'm not just going to make you all do all the work. But for Drill Too Deep, this is a sideboard card at best. I mean, for pre-release, we're doing best of 3. And so if we are doing best of 3, this is probably a better sideboard. Obviously, the top mode is more relevant if you have more spacecraft or planets, but I don't really like the spacecraft and planets. Obviously, we'll talk about them if and when we see them, but it has to be a very specific spacecraft or planet for me to even consider it, and so that would mean that this card is sideboard at best with Destroy Target Artifact, which, again, if they're an artifact-heavy deck, it absolutely gets in, but you would board it in Game 2 if you see a lot of artifacts from them, that's all. We have a Codecracker Hound as our first uncommon. I don't really love this card personally. Maybe you disagree, and you can always, as always, let me know in the comments down below, but I'm not in love with this one. We have an Edge Rover. Not bad. I mean, obviously, we haven't really seen a lot of, like, good green so far, but not a bad card. And a Dubious Delicacy. I absolutely love this card. I mean, our black and blue is looking good so far, I won't lie. Not just because of our rare. Like, this card is absolutely incredible. If I'm anywhere near black, this card gets in. It's so, so good. And so by the way, after 3 uncommons in the packs these days with play boosters, the next card could be a number of different things. It could be a Shockland, it could be a rare, it could be a mythic, it could be another uncommon. So we're not exactly sure, but our next card is an uncommon, a 4th uncommon in Bygone Colossus. Now, notably, the only way that I think that this card works is if it is in the red deck alongside some of the, I think they're called Turbo Drones. They tap to give +1/+1 and haste at sorcery speed, but you basically can warp this thing in for 3, make it a 10/10 haste, and then attack with it on turn 4, basically, right? You play the Turbo Drone on 3 because it's a 3-drop. Then you play this on turn 4 with its warp cost, and then attack for 10. But again, they could just chump block it, and maybe it goes in the blue-green ramp deck, because you can actually play it out. It is sealed, so it's a slower format, but I don't see myself playing this card at all. And so, our rare or mythic is An Anti-Causal Vestige. Now, this is an Eldrazi, the only Eldrazi in the set, to my recollection, of course. 6 mana, 7/5, and when it leaves the battlefield, you draw a card, and then you can put a permanent with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, and it does have Warp of 4. This card probably gets into any deck we're playing, just any one of them at all, because you can play this on 4, and then hopefully play like a something for 4 or less for free. If you play it on curve, obviously if you play it later because it says the number of lands you control, that's fine too. And you do get to draw a card regardless, which is great when it leaves the battlefield. But still, drawing a card is wonderful. And this is a 6 mana 7/5 as well. So like getting this thing out onto the battlefield and attacking with it eventually, again, being aggressive with it so that, you know, if they're blocking and killing it, you're still getting a benefit. Like all of that is just great. So this almost certainly gets in. It's colorless, so it doesn't really matter what colors we're in. The only reason it might not matter is if we're trying to be a little bit more control-y and we don't want to have the 7/5 in there, but it still draws us a card. Like I said, I just genuinely don't see a time where we're not going to be playing this card. But if you know of a deck that does not want this card in it, let me know in the comments. And our foil is a foil mythic in the Dominion Bracelet. That foiling is absolutely incredible. Obviously on the bracelet itself, that is so good looking. I will say this card probably not going to get there, right? You need 15 mana, obviously lessened by the power of the creature. You know, maybe if you put it on this, then it costs, then it's 8 power. So then it costs what, 7 mana to activate? And I mean, you've already paid 6 to get the Anti-Causal Vestige out. So maybe, but that's literally a rare and mythic rare combo. But at the other side of the coin is it's a 2 mana equipment that gives +1/+1, and the equip cost is 1. So I have played this. I did play this, I should say, at a pre-release where I opened it. It's a mythic, and I just literally moved it around to give +1/+1 to things for 1 mana, which in and of itself, not too bad. Obviously, I'm not going out of my way, but again, it's another colorless card, so it goes into literally any deck, and then 2 mana to play it, 1 mana to give something +1/+1 until that thing dies, and then give something else +1/+1. Like, not bad at all. I would say to play it, and then if you really need a cut, I guess you could cut it. But I would just basically say that you're considering this literally a 2 mana equipment that equips for 1 and gives +1/+1, and you can ignore every other bit of text on this card unless you really get lucky. Our land is gorgeous. A full art swamp. Very nice. Love that. And our token is a lander/robot token. Okay, I mean, what a hell of a first pack, huh? Rare and foil mythic. Insane. Absolutely incredible. I still think our black and white is good, and again, we just got 2 colorless rares and mythics in that last pack, so you know, we can still play every rare and mythic that we've opened. We have a Lashnite Breacher, which is a good card. Diplomatic Relations, I also enjoy. Oreplate Pangolin is good in the artifact deck. Outside of it, it's meh. A Perigee Beckoner. I would play this in blue-black, in anything in black, I guess. Warp is very strong. It's just very good. 2 mana, warp it in, +2/+0 to something, and if that thing dies, it comes back tapped. Which, if it hasn't entered the battlefield effect, is very good. Otherwise, like, you'd still probably get to kill one of their creatures because you're giving it +2 power as well. This is just a great card, and then a 5 mana 4/5 that does that ability again is quite nice. An Ilvoy Operative. Now, notably, this cares about you casting 2 or more spells in a turn, or your second spell in a turn, I should say. And so that would want to be in the white-blue deck. I probably would not put it into a blue-black deck, but you know, like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as always. And again, maybe if our deck is like super low curve, I would do it just because we would incidentally be playing a second spell. But like all the things that help us do that, some of them are in blue, notably, but some of them are in white because again, the white-blue deck is the deck that wants to be doing that. We have an Exosuit Savior, which again is not a bad card in that deck. But doesn't pull me to white in and of itself. I also love the colors on this card, like the yellows and the pinks, like such bright pink, and then like the greenish black in the background is like so cool looking. I love it. And then obviously the stark white of the suit alongside the gold, like just looks incredible. A Chrome Companion. This is genuinely one of the most adorable cards in the set, and whoever it was during our sponsored stream, the early access stream sponsored by Wizards of the Coast, who said Borgie, just brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and yeah, an adorable card. Even though it's colorless, and we just talked about Anti-Causal Vestige and the Dominion Bracelet, I don't really like this card playability-wise, so I probably wouldn't put it in the deck, but he is adorable, and he can absolutely be the deck's mascot if he wants to be. We have a Lost in Space. I would play one of these. The second one probably gets a little iffy, and then anything above that is a little tougher. But I would play at least one. We have a Steel Swarm Operator as our first uncommon. I'm not in love with this one. Even if we're doing artifacts, I'm just not in love with this card. But okay, it's a 1/1 flyer for 2. We have a Tanuk Memorial Ensign. Not a bad card. Again, not for this kit so far. And a Rayblade Trooper, also a very good card. I'm a big fan of this one. I'm still looking at blue and black, but not a bad card to have nonetheless. That is our 3 uncommons. So our next card is a rare in Lumen Class Frigate, notably a white card, not a bad one though, at 2+. So this is how the spacecraft works, in my opinion. If you don't like what the card does when it enters the battlefield, you don't play it. But this card does say that with 2 or more charge counters on it, all your other creatures get +1/+1. Now, if you play this on turn 2, you're probably not going to be able to put 2 power into it immediately unless you really have a strong 1-drop. But if you play it on turn 2 and then play a 2-drop on turn 3 and put it into it, then your creatures immediately get more powerful. Like, that's a pretty good way of going about it. And then, yes, you could get to 12+ and make this a 3/5 flying lifelink, but I'm basically looking at this card as put 2 power into this thing 1 time, and it gives an Anthem to your creatures for 2 mana. So 2 mana, 2 power Anthem, not too bad in my opinion. Obviously, if you can get to the 12 later on, congratulations, but that's how I would look at this thing. And in this kit, this does not pull me towards white. It's an okay card, and if we're anywhere near white, I would play it, but that's about where that ends. Our foil behind it? Yes, is a foil depressurized. Very nice. We already have 1 depressurized from before. That foiling pattern is gorgeous as hell, and I would absolutely play 2 of these. What a great, great card. We then have a planes and a robot / munitions token. Probably not playing any munitions today, although interestingly, the blue-black deck is the one that I have used to like sack a ton of artifacts in, and the card that makes the munitions really wants you to sack the munitions. But it is a red card, so it makes it a little awkward for that deck. Anyway, we have a Drix Fatemaker, a very good card. We have a Melded Moxite. Comet Crawler. This one gets in kind of no matter what kind of a black deck I'm in. A Sinister Cryologist. I mean, I'm not in love with this guy, I won't lie. It's a 3-mana 2/3, like it shrinks something until end of turn, or you can warp it in and it does the same thing. I don't think our deck needs this. If we need a 23rd card, I might consider it, but otherwise, no. Auxiliary Boosters, not a bad card, not for this kit so far. Biosynthetic Burst, also an incredible one. Really like that card. We have a Zookeeper Mechan. This is a very good card. Again, not for this kit so far, but the fact that it's a tapper or a mana dork in red is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Command Bridge, if we are splashing something, knowing that we have Command Bridge, quite helpful. But otherwise, I'm not playing it. Seed Ship Impact is a sideboard card, and it's not even for this kit. But that is our first uncommon. Virulent Silencer. Again, this is not it. I mean, even the Anti-Causal Vestige is not an artifact. It's colorless, so it's an Eldrazi, but it's not an artifact. The Lumen Class Frigate is, but we need 12+ power into it. Like, there are not going to be enough non-token artifact creatures to kill them with poison counters. And if you're dealing that much damage to them with artifact creatures where they're getting poison counters, they're probably just dying with their life total regardless. So this card is probably not making the cut regardless. So our third uncommon is a Weft Stalker Ardent as well. Not bad. I love this art. It's so interesting. But that means that our next card is a Gene Morph Imago and a rare. Green and blue rare. Technically splashable, but I don't really see the need for this particular card. Like, I don't think it's strong enough as a 1/3 or as a landfall, make a 3/3 or later a 6/6. Like, this card is very much what the green-blue deck wants to be doing, but we're not in the green-blue deck. We're in the blue-black deck, at least so far. So it could be splashed for, but I don't think it's worth it personally. And again, as always, you can agree or disagree in the comments down below. But that is our rare for this pack. Our foil is a foil Lux Knight Breacher. Again, not for this pack, but it's a pretty good one. I mean, obviously, the white deck that wants to go wide, this card is incredible for that. A lot of the warp cards that like make 1/1s and then, come back later and can make another 1/1 and then themselves that stay on the field. This card is absolutely incredible with that because presumably you're going to just have like just a butt ton of creatures on the field. Then you drop this guy on turn 4 or turn 5, and it's just got a million counters on it, and that's pretty cool. And the foiling is pretty nice, actually. The like explosions or whatever this is down here at the bottom, pretty good. Our land is a regular plains, cool art, of course, and a lander/human soldier token. We are halfway through this kit. If you enjoy Magic the Gathering and you want to see us play some, especially some sealed or draft, that's typically what we do on our live streams every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, playing some MTG Arena, we would love to have you. We have a Starbreach Whale. This card absolutely gets in if we're playing blue-black. A Starport Security, not bad. Germinating Worm, I like this one too. Kav Landseeker, good card. Embrace Oblivion, 100% gets in. We haven't seen... We had the Cryogen Relic. There are certain cards like Cryogen Relic, I guess Dubious Delicacy as well, and the Nutrient Block, that's the card I was thinking of, that really want to be sacrificed to cards like this. We just don't have a lot of them yet, and that's a little unfortunate. I hope to get more, but this card works wonders with those. And honestly, anything that makes landers, obviously, this card really likes, because you just sack a lander and kill one of their creatures for 1 mana. It just feels incredible. So something to keep in mind. And then also, like, if you know you're getting nowhere near the Dominion Bracelet, even though it may feel stupid to sacrifice a Mythic, I absolutely would sack a Mythic to kill their best creature. Like, just throwing that out there. We have a... Wow, speaking of... Wow. Okay, hey, guess what? A Nutrient Block. That's absolutely incredible. Like, obviously you could sack this because it's food and gain 3 life, and that'd be great. And you would draw a card. Or you can sack it to something like the Embrace Oblivion and destroy one of their creatures and draw a card. Like, you wouldn't gain 3 life, but, I mean, isn't it worth it? This card is phenomenal. Very, very good. We have a Drill Too Deep again. It's a sideboard card, and it's not even for this kit. Terrapact Intimidator is our first uncommon. I really like the colors on this card. And it's an interesting one for sure. It doesn't pull me into red, but it's interesting. Ooh, interesting. We have an Alpha Real Dreaming Acolyte. It's a blue-black uncommon gold card. Legendary creature, human cleric. Draw 2, discard 2 unless you discard an artifact, and during your turn, he's a 2/3 Death Toucher. That's incredible and absolutely gets in. This is great. I'm super happy because I haven't seen a lot of this card to begin with, but the fact that it's alongside the blue-black promo that we opened, and we opened 2 colorless rares in addition to it, like, this is great. I'm very pleased. That is 2 uncommons. Our third is a Pulsar Squadron Ace. Again, not for this kit, but not a bad card. And our next card is an Annul. I'm not as in love with this card. Artifact or enchantment spell screams sideboard card to me. And again, if we're playing in a pre-release, it is typically best of 3. And so this is not a bad card to sideboard in if they're playing a lot of artifacts, I guess, or enchantments, but usually artifacts in this format. And that's totally fine. You can board this in, and that would be a pretty great way to get them, but I would not main board this personally. Again, if you disagree, comments down below, let me know. But that means our next rare or mythic is a Sunstar Chaplain. Not bad, not amazing for us, for what we're trying to do, and I don't think this pulls me into white. This does want to be in the aggressive or an aggressive deck. Obviously, go wide deck would be good too, because if they have like 2 blockers and you have 4 attackers, like even if they kill off 2 of your like tokens or whatever, you still then get counters on things or, whatever. So this is pretty cool. Sunstar Chaplain. Our foil is a foil uncommon Uthros Scanship for 4. That foiling is absolutely insane. That is so good looking in foil. It does say draw 2 cards, then discard a card. So again, if you're okay with paying 4 mana for that effect, you can put this card in your deck. If not, do not do it. Because that's literally, you have to look at it as if that's all it's ever going to be. If you get to 8+ and it's a 4/4 flyer, congratulations, the card's gotten better. But if you don't like this card as a 4 mana, draw 2 cards, discard a card, then don't play it. That being said, I might play this. Card draw is very important, especially in blue-black in a control-type strategy. Not a bad card at all. But again, if I'm looking for a cut, this probably would be towards the top of the list. But that foiling is just so good, though. We have an island behind it, and a lander/drone token. Not bad. All right, 2 more packs to go. We also, by the way, speaking of 2, have 2 other channels. Links down in the description box below for Video Games for All and Gluten Free for All. If that sounds interesting at all to you, please feel free to check them out. We really appreciate it. We have a Starfighter Pilot. Not a bad card, but not for this kit. We have an Ice Cave Crasher. Same statement. An Orbital Plunge, good removal. A Beamsaw Prospector. This is a card that is okay with dying. It makes landers, and again, if we can sack the lander to that Embrace Oblivion, pretty good nonetheless. Or we could actually use it to, get a card or something. Get a land, I mean. We have an Ilvoy Galeblade. I'm not as in love with this card. It's 1 mana, 1/1 flash flyer, and then 2 mana sack it, draw a card. It's fine, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not in love with it. Would I play it? I mean, if I needed a 23rd, I suppose I would play it. We have a Thawbringer, a Thaumaton Torpedo. That's interesting. We have a Eusocial Engineering as our first uncommon. I'm not in love with this card. It's fine. We have a Wedgelight Rammer. This is another one that is fine. I mean, it's 4 mana to make a single 2/2. And then if it's at 9+, it's a 3/4 flying first strike. Like, no, this isn't good enough, even if we're in white because we opened the Lumen class frigate. I just don't, I can't see playing this card. And a Mechan Assembler. I mean, this cares about other artifacts entering, and then we make more artifacts. So that's not bad at all. And it's a 5 mana 4/4. I would play this card. I mean, obviously, we'd have to check how many artifacts we had, but it's an artifact itself. Blue-black tends to care about artifacts. We can sack artifacts in this deck, hopefully. So, yeah, I would probably play this guy, especially because if he's making the 2/2 robots, those robots can be sacrificed. So, and we're probably more willing to do that because then he can make more. So, but our next card is, oh God. It's We Are Geek for All, and this card is Pain for All, and it's actually pretty damn good. I remember when I opened this card during the large opening that I did. I opened over $2,200 worth of retail product from this set. 6 Play Booster boxes, 6 Collector Booster boxes. Incredible amount of cards. It was 4 hours long. I would love for you to go watch it if you haven't already. I'll try to link it up in the top right-hand corner there for you, so you can go check it out. But I was very upset with this card because of how close it is to our name. But when we played it during our streamer event, it's a very good card. So anyway, interesting. Not a bad card, like I said. We'll see what else we've opened here. We have foil. No, we have another rare in Memorial Vault. Tap it, sack another artifact, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is 1, plus the mana value of the sacrificed artifact, and you may play those cards this turn. So notably, it's Red's way of getting extra cards, playing extra cards. It's interesting. I don't know that it's what we want to be doing. Plus, I just don't think this kit has a ton of artifacts in it. It's got some, but I don't think it's got a ton. So, and they're not very high-costed, but still interesting. And of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Our foil is a foil rare. Jesus Christ, there's 3 rares in this pack. Pinnacle Star Cage. I also don't love this card. In foil I do, though. Look at it. Gorgeous. Holy crap. But yeah, I mean, it is an artifact, right? But you get to steal all artifacts and creatures with mana value 2 or less until this leaves the battlefield, but then you need 8 mana to be able to do more things with it, basically. And then if they have any way of getting rid of it, or you have to sacrifice it to do something else, all those things come back, and also you can get your stuff too. So, I'm just not in love with this card, I won't lie. It's a rare probably for a reason, so maybe I can be convinced, but I'm just not in love with this one, I won't lie. I am in love with 3 rares in 1 pack, though. And a full art land. Full art forest. Very, very nice. And a lander / robot token. We have 1 pack to go. We already opened a foil mythic today, but you know what? Why not? Give me something cool. I mean, we also just got a 3 rare pack. But, I don't know, shock land in this one? Let's see. Wouldn't that be a dumb called shot? All right, let's see. We have a plasma bolt to start. I'm also doubting my blue-black strategy or conversation. Like, we've got a lot of white-red rares, it's just that they don't feel that good, whereas the blue-black really feels strong. And obviously the colorless cards that we have go into any deck, but still. We have a Hull Carver, I like that one. It's an artifact, and it's in black, and it's got Death Touch, and it's a low-costed card. We have Mental Modulation. I would absolutely play this card in any blue deck that we're in. Obviously, it wants to be in a deck that wants to cast 2 or more spells in a turn, which is blue and white, but still, I would play it in blue-black. It's, you know, it draws you a card. And it's either 1 or 2 mana, instant speed. Obviously, it does other things too, but still. We have another Lux Knight Breacher. We have another Diplomatic Relations. Another Oreplate Pangolin. I mean, you know, not bad. If we wanted to go red and artifacts, but again, I don't know what types of artifacts we have in that color. Like if we went red-black, let's say, because we have 3 depressurizes now. That's insane. We have a Dual Sun Technique. I was about to say Suit. That's a different card. We have a Dual Sun Technique. And as our first uncommon, I'm not in love with this card. It's fine. We have a Glacier Godmaw. Not bad. As our second, and a Biomechan Engineer as the third. Not bad, and again, we have that Gene Morph Imago, which is the same 2 colors and a rare, just to make me second-guess myself even further. Thankfully, I can take a guess and then tell you all to decide for me in the comments down below. It's such lazy. No, it's not. And obviously, if you come to our streams, you know, like, I ask for help all the time. I don't pretend to be like a perfect deck builder or anything, but like I said, our blue-black really feels strong. We've got a lot of removal. We've got a lot of like synergies and stuff, so I don't know. That's just how I feel, but obviously we've gotten a lot of things, like I said, in white-red. We now have 2 things in green-blue that are pretty cool, so let me know in the comments. But we also have our next card, which is a Systems Override. I'm not as in love with this one. Obviously, if you steal one of their artifacts and then sack it or whatever, that's fine. But otherwise, you know, you could steal a thing, and like there are obviously times where you could play this card, win the game, and then, you know, you could be like, well, Joe, it's a great card, I won the game with it. But I don't know. There are a lot more times where it's sitting in your hand and you're like, oh, but I could steal their thing and then attack them with all my creatures and put them to like 5 and then they just kill me, right? Like, so it's not as good of a card in that respect. And so for that, I'm usually off of these types of effects. But there is that decent sacrifice strategy in red-black or something like that. And so, like I said, if you steal one of their artifacts and like use the Memorial Vault or something like that and sack it and get a bunch of cards that you can play off the top of your library, like that's pretty cool. And so our last rare or mythic, unless we get lucky with a foil again, is an Emissary Escort. Cares about the artifacts that we have. I mean, I would play it no matter what. If we're in blue and have at least like 3 other artifacts in the deck, because it's also just a 2-mana 0/4, which is not bad at all. And it, again, is an artifact in and of itself. So yeah, I mean, I would, like I said, I'd definitely play this guy. Not bad, but not like a bomb or anything like that. In the kit that we've opened, there are pools where this guy has been absolutely insane, but in this kit, he's fine. Our foil is a foil common in Drix Fate Maker. I like this guy, not for this kit, but I like him quite a bit. It's a great card, and it looks really cool in foil. I mean, obviously, a lot of that magic in the center there looks really cool. Our land is a regular mountain, and we have a lander / robot token. I mean, for our last sealed pool / pre-release kit, opening a foil mythic is pretty cool, and it's a really cool looking foil mythic as well. Like I said, it's not like the most amazing card in the world. It's not like the bombiest card in the world, but it's a decent one, and it looks really cool in foil. So I'm very happy to have it. I'm really happy that you all joined me in watching this video. We got 3 foil rares slash mythics in this pool, which is really nice. Especially because, like, I don't know, I felt like some of the other pools that we opened were kind of weak value-wise. Like the Shocklands did a lot of heavy lifting, I will say. But in terms of like other foil rares or mythics in general, like, I don't know, I felt like we were lacking big time in this set in particular. Hopefully that's not the case with Spider-Man. Hopefully you all will be staying tuned for Spider-Man stuff. I am a big Marvel fan. I know that there are some folks who are not a big fan of Universes Beyond, and you have every right to that opinion. I, as a Marvel fan, am very much looking forward to opening something that is a combination of 2 things that I love. And so if that is something that you're going to be coming back for, I look forward to seeing you then. Obviously, we'd love to see you on stream Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we will be playing whatever the newest limited format is. So right now we are playing Edge of Eternities sealed and/or draft every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, live right here on this channel. We would love to have you come join us, give your opinions on my play style, on my picks, on my cuts, on my keeps, all that fun stuff. And then don't forget, we have a ton of links down in the description box below. We've got our other 2 channels, Video Games for All and Gluten Free for All. We've got our 2 Instagrams, Geek for All and Gluten Free for All. We've got our community Discord, which we would love to have you come join. Let us know what you thought of this video there, or most importantly, in the comments down below. And if you have the means and are interested in doing so, we would really appreciate it, if you're enjoying our stuff, if you would consider supporting us on Patreon. Again, all those links down in the description box below. We really appreciate you spending any and all time with us that you do. And for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe. And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.